morning guys, it's Matt and Greg here from Trades Coaching. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day and it started off in the right frame of mind for you guys. Today we wanted to have a quick chat about vision, mission, values. One of those touchy-feely sorts of subjects that not a lot in our industries take a whole heap of value from. But I wanted to ask Greg, what's your thoughts? Where do you see the most value coming from in this?
Yeah, so I suppose with vision and mission, like you said, it's a bit touch and feely for our sort of marketplaces and that sort of thing, but it is actually what allows a business to be able to grow. And you know, for a lot of years we never really focused on that as being the first point of a business, but really it is what actually gets your team involved, gets them engaged and be able to grow with your business. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I actually used it a hell of a lot at my last business. I grew that from 4 to 44. If you don't already know it, we say it a lot. But we grew that from 4 to 44 staff. And you get to a certain level where the staff are growing and you're getting that many people on. The systems and the processes, I call them tactics, they can't keep up with how many people you're bringing in. You can't train them, you can't build them fast enough. And for me, the vision, mission, values is kind of like the context as to why the business is here, what we're doing and what we hope to achieve. So if your staff are all well aware of that, then they've kind of got like these unwritten rules that they know to act to, you know what I mean? So they might not have a system and a process, but they get a good idea of what the bigger picture is that we're hoping to achieve.
And it gets them gelled and all working together rather than, you know, individualised, like you said, tactics.
Absolutely, and I think like at the end of the day that there's a certain element of this too where like humans are just, we're a group species, right? We're a pack animal and we are designed to work, or we have evolved to work in teams. And at the end of the day, a team is nothing more than a series of people with a common set of values and beliefs. That's all it comes down to. And you get a lot of times where we, particularly on the coaching calls, right, we're getting guys that are saying, you know, they're just not got the right values, or they're just not doing this, or I would have expected them to do that. And every time I've asked the question in the coaching call so far, I'm like, well, have you got your vision, mission, values set out? Because that is those rules, you know.
It really gets that engagement. And so, you know, biggest problem is when you're dealing with tactics and systems all the time, it can be very, you know, just
regimented.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Regimented and that sort of thing, where when you put your mission, values, and more than anything, you know, where your vision is, where you want to take the business to, that then allows the team to be enrolled in that vision. And then they're not just coming to work for a paycheck, you know, they're coming to work to make a difference.
And they understand the rules of the game. You know, yeah, they're serving a greater purpose, but they also understand the rules of the game. They get why, you know, sometimes somebody might rock up to work 5 minutes late. For one boss, they don't care. For the second boss, the guy's absolutely ropeable. Yeah. That's your values. And everybody has different values and beliefs. And that's where I think, you know, you got to be clear about stipulating what it is if you want your team to behave the way that you want them to behave. And it's got to be consistent across the board. I might just introduce what we've come up with for Trades Coaching. So our vision is to leverage our knowledge and our passion to make business enjoyable and successful. There's a lot of people in the coaching space that talk about time, money, freedom, team, whatever, and I mean, they're always the same challenges for all sorts of business. And
to turn around and look at it, most people got into business for a reason, and you know, it is to have that lifestyle and freedom and time and money and all that sort of thing, but it's also to, you know, make it, as we said, make it enjoyable. It's there to you've got to enjoy going to work and not turn up just because it's a struggle.
And if you want, yeah, exactly. And I think if you're trying to work out what your vision is, there's a pretty cool little exercise you can use, which is like your 5 or 7 whys, depending on what you read. But it's like, I started a business. Okay, so why did you start a business? Because I wanted some lifestyle changes, or I wanted to get better rewarded for my time and effort. You're like, okay, so why did you want to be better rewarded? And you keep going and you just keep asking those whys. And inevitably, at the end of the day, people will only ever come to 2 answers, which is usually love and happiness. Like if you go high enough and you keep asking why enough. And that's where I feel like that enjoyable part of our vision is so strong, because at the end of the day, it is about happiness, and a lot of people are trying to exchange their lifestyle and their money in order to then go and buy happiness, a holiday or get away or whatever. It's like, well, actually, if we could make the business enjoyable, we're shortcutting 10 years worth of hard work.
Exactly right. And you're saying about, you know, the 7Y thing, and that's really taking it from the head down to the heart. What's the heart of business? Why did you get there in the first place? And then that whole vision is then driving your team along with that.
And I think it's really important that you then actually have to, like, firstly, when we've gone through the whole process of working out our vision and mission, I mean, I saw it in you, that the change in your mindset and the energy that you bring to work, because all of a sudden, okay, we're working for money, but money is not inspiring.
No. And going for 20 years of doing this stuff, you know, I've looked at other people's visions and missions and that sort of thing along the way. And unless you actually build your own, and that's what we spent a couple of days ourselves sitting down and going through and working out what is our vision, what is our mission, why are we doing this? And as Matt said, he saw the change in me, and that was because I wasn't just looking at somebody else's and seeing how I could fit that into my business. It's because we sat there and said, what is our real purpose? What is the reason? What is the thing we're doing here? And that is to make it enjoyable and successful. And when we got that, it's imparting knowledge to make it enjoyable and successful. Mate, that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing.
And that's why we got in business, and that's why we chose this career. And you can see the energy in the room elevate. And I think, you know, that's going to be really important for you and your business, and particularly your staff. And the second part of what you need to do, so firstly, it helps drive a lot more energy, particularly from you, and you're a leader, whether you like it or not. You're
Visionary leader, that's what it's got to be.
You're a leader in your business, so everybody else is a reflection of you in some way. The second part of the equation is, however, you need to be using your vision and mission. Once you've created it, once you're in love with it, you can use that vision and mission to drive strategy, not tactics, but a series, like a well thought out, well integrated strategy. And you'll definitely see that from Trades Coaching in the next 6 months if you follow us, that's for sure. The vision is what we do, which is obviously to share our knowledge and passion, to make business enjoyable and successful. The where we're going is to influence behaviour in every trades business globally.
Yeah. And I mean, that might be a big mission. And it's like the old Kaizen or the Japanese thing, they put their vision and mission out 200 years in advance. We're looking at doing this as a globally thing, and every business, it's not just, you know, in the local area, it's really about making that difference there. And we want to make sure, like as it says, you know, it's influencing behaviour so that people do enjoy it. So feeding back to our vision. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I literally wanted to make the mission unachievable. Because you don't want to get to a position where, we've impacted 10,000 businesses in 2021. You're like, well, shit, what do I do in 2022? Yeah. You know, so we want a mission, we want a target that is quite literally unachievable, so we never stop reaching for it. But in context of what we're trying to do, we're trying to make business enjoyable and successful. So we want to be implementing and promoting and teaching strategies that even if we don't personally impact every single trades business on the planet, we're going to be personally impacting the really successful ones and the ones that everybody else is copying. So over 10, 20, 30 years, the things that we're teaching and implementing and striving for our clients actually end up to basically start elevating the industry standard. So that's the goal.
That's that influencing everything. So
exactly.
People see what we do all over the place, and people can copy it. So
yeah. And then we're getting stuck into our values, and I kind of like this because these are really, so that the other stuff, your vision and mission, they're your bigger picture stuff. That's your why and where, you know, where you want to be in 50 years, 20 years, whatever, and why we're in business. But the values are the unwritten laws. And that's, you know, that's your day-to-day, your actionable stuff.
So the first one of ours is community, you know, to have that sense of community. And so people are a social being, as they say, and I won't read that word for word, but...
Why not? We may as well. We only created it yesterday.
Yeah, I created it yesterday, and it's sitting up the back there. So, all right, let's go. So, community. You know, we're social beings, and this is a business where.
This business was created to help.
I'll let him read it. He's got better options.
And this is where age comes to advantage. So we are social beings, and this business was created to help others, make our community thrive. So this is for our internal team, right? To give it context. So for our internal team, this is make our community thrive, show love and respect, be supportive and collaborative, share your knowledge, and never let your integrity be questioned.
Yep. And in saying that it's for our internal team, that's also what we want to build in our external community as well. We want to have those same values flow through to the external.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you guys come on with a coaching, come with us to do some coaching, we are literally going to put this vision, mission, values in front of us. We want you to use that to keep us honest and accountable, but we're also going to use these same rules, because at the end of the day, we see these as partnership, just like having an employee-employer relationship. So this is how we like to play the game, and we would like you to play to the same set of rules as everybody else. Why not? This is who we are. This is what we do.
And once you enrol into that same set of values, you will get so much more value from the process.
Absolutely. So our second value is license to fail. Interesting. This is the cornerstone of our continuous improvement. Use your entrepreneurial spirit, be hungry to learn, make that decision, drive to the win, and own the result. That's what that means for us.
Yes, and it is. And it is really owning the result. Push yourself, get there, own the result. Making sure you're making a difference along the way. So that's what it's really all about. And if you do fail, you make a mistake, dust yourself off, pick yourself up, take the learnings from that mistake, and then implement ways to be able to fix that.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that, if you're a business owner and you've got a team of 5 or 10 or 20, you can't possibly be everywhere and do everything, right? You have to trust your team to do the work and to put that product out the door with your name all over it, or to build that, whatever it is. You need them to feel safe so that when they put their hand up and they let you know so you can fix it properly the first time. They need to have that safe place. And it's not to say that, if they don't do it second and a third time, that they know that, okay, we're going to have a conversation about this because you've done it a couple of times and you've got to learn. But they do have to have that safe space, because otherwise they're going to sweep that shit under the rug. Well, we're going to build it into, for example, we used to make parts that went into engines, So if somebody swept it under the rug, it then goes out, it goes into an engine, it goes out in the field for a couple of weeks, it then comes back. I've now got a whole heap of warranty concerns. I've got to pay somebody to put the stuff in and out of the engine. I've got a customer who's pissed off because they've been without a car for a week, or our staff member could have put his hand up and it could have been fixed within 5 minutes weeks ago. And that's where you kind of got to drive that.
To put that in context, if you end up if the team don't see a safe place or don't have a safe place to do that, and you become the person that's ranting and raving all the time, then they won't think for themselves, and then you become the bottleneck because they'll come to you all the time.
That's a good point.
So you end up being. You've got a team there to help grow the business or work for you and leverage it. If you take away their power, autonomy, then you're back into the same space you were, and you're sitting there going, man, I'm paying that person, but they keep coming to me for simple things and mistakes. They don't. You just end up losing power of it.
Yeah. Cool. Good point. Our third one is infectious passion. Be courageous, be relentless, be committed, and be the one who lights up the room.
Yep.
I love that one. In our vision and mission, we talk about knowledge and passion. We love what we do, and that's where you got to bring energy to this stuff.
Yeah, and I just admit, so when you're going through and you've had a year of hard knocks and things like that, when you start to lose that, and when we were doing this, the vision and mission statements yesterday, we're working on this with Matt the last couple of days. I've had a tough year this year, and mate, he came out and he said, mate, you're not lighting up the room. It's like, yeah, right, I'm not lighting up the room. I understand now. It's really, we come back to that and we play to that value all the time. You could have a hard time, you could have things, but just like I said before, you make a mistake, brush it off. But if you're having a hard time and you're not the person that's passionate, that flows through in your work.
Absolutely.
So, you've got to pick yourself up and say, hey mate, we'll come back to your visions.
And that's it. And like let's put this in context. We've got our whole team that have this same vision, mission, and values.
Yep.
So you might be having a bad day, but the next 5 people who walk through the door of our office are all bright, bubbly, lighting up the room.
Yep.
It's pretty easy for you to wash it off.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Where people who have high energy, they give high energy, you absorb high energy, and the absolute inverse is true, and I see that so many times in so many businesses. I call them energy vampires. They just suck the life and the love out of
time, you look at it, you think, over time, I've been joking about this for the last couple of days, you know, for years, the last couple of years or last 12 months, especially, you know, the fire in my heart got down to a little tiny smoulder. Here comes Matt, you know, he's a young guy in his 30s, and the fire's, you know, it's reignited the flame in my belly to get this thing up and running and making sure that we can help more people. That's what it's all about.
And that's what it's about for both of us. So, so the fourth one is guide, motivate, and inspire. We are coaches at the end of the day. Lead your community to their required result with focus and clarity, using your vision, strong values, passion, and knowledge.
Yep. No use having knowledge without passing it on.
Well, and that's it. And at the end of the day, you know, particularly for our clients, a lot of them are coming to us. A lot of the time they wait until they're at the bottom of the barrel before they give us a call and engage us in their services, because they are literally out of ideas.
Yeah.
They're at the end of the rope. Their flame is down to a smolder and they've got nowhere to go. And that's a lot of the time when we start to get involved in these businesses, and they rely on us to offer that guidance, and that's our job. That's what we do.
And not only that, I mean, it's not that they have to wait to that point either. So you see a lot of businesses that are there, they get to a certain point and they just don't know how to take that next step. And I mean, you look back to the early years when we started working together, you know, how many times did you look at it going, you had that vision and that sort of stuff, but other people really weren't growing with you, and that didn't have the knowledge, and it was about surrounding yourself with people that had the knowledge to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they were, you know, they were there to do exactly the same thing, motivate and inspire you to take it to the next level.
That's right. Yeah. So, last one. This is again internal, so it's a little bit, hey, it's not as professional as it maybe should be, but this is us putting our brand and our personality into our company.
Yep.
The fifth one is know your shit.
Yep.
Simple enough. Be hungry to learn, be better than yesterday, and dominate your niche.
Yep. That's it.
So for us, we're going to literally, as we expand and we grow, we're going to bring in other coaches that may not necessarily be the world's greatest marketing coach, but they do know
their stuff.
Yep. So we're trying to build a company on the basis of that they may be the best for accounting.
Play their strengths, play
Exactly.
what they're good at. You know, it's a game. Again, the same sort of thing. Business is a game. You know, if you play what you're good at, then you're going to grow. So if we put a team around us that are good at doing what they do, then naturally the business will grow and be good in those areas. If we try to do something that we're not good at, then it becomes learning, becomes painful, and that's what the whole idea of.
Well, and think about it, right? At the end of the day, there's only one person, and they may have more experience or more skills or more knowledge than you, and they can lead you to a certain extent. But they're only one person. They don't know everything as well as they possibly could. You know, somebody who just focuses on, let's use accounting for example, if they focus all their time, energy, and learning onto just accounting, they're going to know way more than me.
Exactly.
And I love marketing, so I've gone that way.
Yeah.
So I know quite a bit about marketing, but I don't know the sales process, or I don't know systems and processes as well as Greg. And this is where, you know, we want to niche down, and that's why it's important for us in our business in this particular instance, where, you know, you come on board as a one-on-one client over 12 months, you may end up working with 4 or 5 different coaches because it's what you need in that moment. And you're going to go to a specialist and somebody who absolutely dominates their niche.
Yeah. That's it, and playing to their strengths.
Exactly. You know, and so, you know, to give it all context and to wrap the whole thing up, how you make this useful on a day-to-day basis is you live and breathe it, you talk the language that's in your vision, mission, values all of the time. You're about to see a slogan change from us. We're going to go from trades coaching, what was it before?
Building businesses, giving businesses a better life, or something along that.
Yeah, so it was around lifestyle,
and
you
stuff
know?
there,
And now we're literally going to change the slogan so that it absolutely reflects our vision. So it's going to be trades coaching, making businesses enjoyable and successful.
Yep. So again, that comes back to, you know, living the vision and having that vision living in the slogan. You know, if I was living the vision and the slogan from beforehand, I would have been able to pull that straight out of my head and said, do that. But now we have a values alignment.
Yep. You know, like Greg's now really engaged and loving the vision and mission.
Yep.
He can recite it off the top of his head, no worries. And it's the same sort of thing. You've got to get your team involved in this sort of stuff. So at Bailey's, we used to do team appraisals, not by KPIs or whatever, We used to do them to our 6 values we're going to have 5 here, but we had 6 at Bailey. So literally every single month we sit down with our staff and we would go, hey, how am I ranking you on know your shit? How am I ranking you on guiding and motivating and inspiring those around you? How am I ranking you on your license to fail? And you know, when you start driving the company that way, people go, oh shit, they actually really mean this. This isn't just something that sits up on the wall.
And that's the thing.
This is real.
As I was saying before, you know, been around this for 20 years, writing vision, mission and values, and like you said, sitting up on the wall, sitting on the slogan, just because it had to put a tick in the box. But until you actually get engaged and get involved and included in that process and understanding that, and I think that's the big value you've brought to the business over the last couple of days is to be able to sit down there and say, hey, yeah, let's get this, let's make the difference. Let's make it fun and enjoyable.
And it literally came down to necessity, because I'm sitting here, I'm going, okay, well, we want to drive some marketing and we want to drive some sales, and let's revisit the product mix. And I'm like, all right, well, we want to create products, but for what purpose? Like, what are we doing? Why the hell would we create a product or a different product? We don't even know if the one that we've got right now or that we're doing is filling the need. Because what is the need? It's not to make money.
No. I mean, that's a byproduct.
And that's the reality. So many people focus the goal on the money, but the reality is if you find your why and you hold your team accountable to the why, you'll find a level of autonomy from these people, and it'll be like, Barry gets it. He gets it. You're like, yeah, of course he does. You never told him the rules of the game.
Exactly.
You never got him to buy into why you care so much that he was there at 9 o'clock, not 9:05.
That's it.
You know, for him, he don't give a shit. He's got a different set of values, but when he understands your vision and mission, he's bought into that. He understands your values. He now knows the rules of the game. He's like, I get why you care so much. I'll do that. That's fine.
That's it.
Because I want to help. I want to share my knowledge and passion to help you help business owners around Australia.
That's it.
You know, and that's where you get that alignment happening. And like I said, at the end of the day, you end up with staff that get it. They just do. You know, and those times where the systems and the processes have run out, the system and the process doesn't cover the situation that's now in front of your staff. They now have a guide to know what to do in that step.
Yeah.
You know, where otherwise it's like, oh, okay, I don't know what to do now. I'm going to have to go get, Greg to answer this question for me.
Yeah.
And that's where the time and the freedom comes from. And I think vision, mission, values is one of the most important things that you can do in a business, and you do it early.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, in our keys to business, it is actually in one of the foundational keys, and it is something that's there. But people tend to brush over that, and it's not until, like I said, the last couple of days we've seen how important it is to a business.
Yeah, and how important it will be to your team.
Yeah.
And you know, where it really starts to get cool is that when you start putting your vision, mission, values out like this, you start actually getting people who have the same sort of belief structure coming to you, and you'll find that particularly as you get further down the line, you can then actually start promoting those vision, mission, values in a broader sense, and you'll actually start getting employees, not just clients, but also employees that are drawn to you. Because at the end of the day, like I said, go back to where we were at the start of the conversation, we're social beings, and we are drawn to huddle in groups of people that have similar values and beliefs.
And people want to work in an environment that's fun, and enjoyable. They don't want to be there just, like I say, you turn up for a paycheck, you've got the wrong thing.
Exactly.
Cool.
So there you go. I'd actually really like to hear your thoughts on that, because if you're still watching now, that's like 15 minutes of your life you're not going to get back, so you may as well get involved in the conversation.
They should have got value out of it. Vision, mission and values, at least they got values out of it.
But at the end of the day, I would love to hear your thoughts, because there's so many people out there that don't have this stuff, and they might see some idea of value and that's like it's like a nice touchy-feely thing to have, and I get why it's attractive, but I don't see how it's practical. So hopefully, I'd like to get your thoughts on that. So please do share and comment.
Yeah, if you like the post, share it and comment.
Yeah,
great.
It'd be awesome to get your feedback and your thoughts on it, because it's one of those really polarizing topics. People are either for it or completely against it, and particularly in the trades industry, it's definitely the second one on average.
They don't actually really teach you this when you're getting your license. They don't teach you any part of this stuff.
Plant mechanic doesn't get this stuff. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not in the cert for a building either, or something, but it's not there. Yeah, cool.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks.